Hasbun for a special morning appearance on News Now.
Special morning appearance, only for the most special cases. Would I make a morning appearance?
I mean, when I asked you, I was like, Andrew, I have to have you up here. Because normally I have you up here on a lot of, I guess, you could say animal abuse cases,
Yes.
but nothing like this kind of abuse.
Yeah, this is some serious abuse.
Disturbing.
Do you want to give the details?
I don't see. I have so much video in front of me, right? I have the story that Jessica did last night.
Yeah.
It's about a minute and a half, so I could play that to kind of give them an overview.
I
also
think you
have the 15-minute news conference from Sheriff Joe.
I think to start that way, Jessica probably summarized it very nicely. I haven't seen the story yet. I think we should play that just so everybody gets an idea what we're talking about, and then we can go into a little bit more of the details without making everybody lose their breakfast.
Right. This is the most G-rated version, I guess you could say, in terms of describing.
Well, just so you have a headline, so you know what we're even talking
it's
about.
in the description of this video, but I just said disturbing bestiality case.
So there's a guy, I guess, in Pennsylvania who posted an ad online somewhere wanting some kind of a bestiality experience with a horse, with a pony. And MCSO responded to it, and he flew across the country to come here to have this encounter with a horse, which was a setup, obviously, and now he's in jail. The details, we shall warn everyone, are highly disturbing. We're not going to get into all the details, but we'll give you some.
We'll give you as much as we can.
We'll give you the G-rated versions.
And you guys can use your imagination to figure out the R-rated version of that G-rated version. How about that?
It's an inside look at the disturbing undercover operation. The undercover Maricopa County Sheriff deputy shows 68-year-old Michael Crawford stable animals inside a trailer.
Dirk's on the left. He's the one that I was telling you about that's got the big...
Crawford's goal, allegedly, to have sex with the animals.
So what do you think?
Investigators say Crawford flew into Phoenix from Pennsylvania, thinking he was meeting with the owner of small horses. But shortly after this recording, deputies arrested Crawford. The animals weren't harmed. Sheriff Joe Arpaio today said Crawford is facing a Class 6 felony.
When he was arrested, he was shocked. He said, "I didn't do anything." Well, he did. He committed a conspiracy. We're not going to let him go through the act, of course. That's what he's thinking. He didn't do it, but we sure have enough to charge him.
Arpaio said before the meeting, the man communicated with undercover detectives online and over the phone. He allegedly told deputies he would bring shirts in his suitcase and wanted the horses to urinate on the clothes. Deputies also say the suspect told them he's been performing sex acts on animals since the 1970s.
So what do you think? These guys are going to work?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
This is, to me, is perversion. We crack down on this type of activity.
Okay, wow.
So there you have it.
That is disturbing.
Just a bit. So we have his, this is called a Form 4. And this is basically when someone's arrested.
Right.
They take them into the jail and the court and inside the jail, and this is kind of the initial summary of what happened that they present to the court. The detectives fill this out, and it details what happened and some of the facts of the case and justifying why this person was arrested. So I can go through some of these things, and in here they detail a little bit more about his contact with the sheriff's office. So he responded to the ad, or the sheriff's office responded to the ad saying, they may be able to make this happen. He talks about all the things he wants to do, which we're not going to get into because it's just absolutely disturbing. But he says here, I'm seeking someone who, this is his communications with the sheriff's office.
So this is the suspect.
The suspect's communications with the sheriff's office. He says to the sheriff's office, I'm seeking someone who can help in making my fantasy real. I'm skipping through here, so just bear with me because I'm not going to read some of the bad stuff.
It's disturbing.
So he's asking what kinds of horses and ponies do they have? Are they? Not going to skip that part. Asking, do you have any kinky friends? Serious about a possible meeting, but it would probably be something in the coming spring, as I do have to travel quite a ways to get to you. If you're still serious and interested, please get back with me and let me know. If you can really help me with what I am seeking, I am definitely interested in traveling out to meet with you during our conversations. Michael's the suspect. He said he lived in Pennsylvania. On the website, he lists his date of birth is 1946. That's them going into their background and what they did. They exchanged several emails and telephone calls. He stated he wanted to fly out to Arizona to have sex acts with the pony, and as Jessica mentioned in the story, we can talk about this part because she
Yeah.
mentioned it already. Having the pony pee on his shirt, and so he could then wear them. The shirts. Wow. He stated on the telephone
Oh.
call with me that he wanted to ship the shirt back to Pennsylvania so he could wear it when he got home. He bought a plane ticket from Pennsylvania to Phoenix to arrive at 7:10. That was this weekend, or on Friday, excuse me. Flew into Sky Harbor as arranged, picked him up, drove him to the area of Avondale and Southern Avenue where there was a horse trailer and ponies waiting. During the drive there, Michael stated again that he wanted to do all these things. They arrived at the location. Michael got out of the car, walked up to the trailer containing the ponies. He stated as he looked into the trailer, I'm not going to say what he said. Wow.
Where was that?
Right here. And he picked out which one he wanted. Which,
yeah.
if you bring up the...
He picked out the one he wanted and said what he wanted to do.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Which, do you have that photo?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up right now. They're just looking at the video.
Oh, well, here,
of it.
if you go bring up the video, we can show you. He picked out the one on the left.
Where do you? Is it the beginning?
Yeah, you can see there's two ponies in there.
And he picks.
He picks the one on the left.
Should we just listen to this video really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I'll pull up the volume.
Okay. You bring me out.
Okay.
He was talking, I couldn't put it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dirk's on the left. He's the one I was telling you about that's got the big dick.
Yeah, you gotta go.
So what do you think? You ever see a mini jack?
Well, I'm not listening to him personally.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's hard to hear what he's saying right now.
Yeah, he was telling me that one of these guys,
A lot of wind.
horse, fucked him in the act and ruptured his intestines, and the guy ended up fucking dying. Yeah. Was it the hand?
Mr. Hams is his name.
Mr. Hand. He died, and yeah, the cops showed up, and right?
Well, he ended up taking him out to the hospital.
Yeah.
After that, they trailed him out.
Yeah.
They shut the farm down.
Yeah.
That was up in Washington State. That was,
So what do you think? That's a good one?
oh yeah, I think so.
Which one do you think
Oh, you don't have to.
yeah, you blow out one on the left? Yeah, have you ever sucked a mini like that?
The one that I had down Tennessee was a black one. It was a black spider.
Right.
Two of them. The one that proved, the other one they said, it has to be what it's used to. So you couldn't get him to do anything.
Yeah.
It was too hard to hear.
It was a little hard to hear,
and
but I think everybody gets the idea.
Right, but I do have, I think, is this the photo? No. Where's the photo you said?
There's right there, the animals. Oh, no, one right above it.
Oh, right here.
There you go. Those are the two animals,
All right.
the two ponies.
So these were
Those were the animals they brought to show him where he could pick which one
and
he
you
wanted.
picked the one on the left, this one?
Assuming that's the one that was on the left when they showed it to him.
Right.
I don't know.
Still just so sad and so disturbing. I mean, let's make this clear, no animals were actually
Yeah.
harmed in this situation.
That's
It was
why.
the setup.
That's why he was just booked for the conspiracy. It was just the setup.
Right. So this guy, was this on Craigslist? Or
They
how,
They didn't say.
Is it just how
I
did
don't
this
know.
even happen? So he's in Pennsylvania. How do our authorities get in contact with him? All of this is.
These are the things they rarely tell us because they don't
Right.
want the suspects to know how they're being found.
I see what you're saying because oh, bless you. If they reveal that, then they can't catch any.
Exactly. So they usually keep that a secret. It's the same thing with like when they find people who have child porn. They rarely reveal how they are catching on to people who are doing this on the internet because
Right.
they don't want the perpetrators to know what sites police are monitoring.
Right. A lot of people very disturbed by this. Eduardo saying, "I just ate breakfast, may not last long
Hey, I
in my
warned you.
stomach."
I warned
mean,
them.
everyone, this is a very disturbing story.
It's really disturbing.
I mean, you found out about this what,
earlier this weekend,
Yeah.
And then with Donald Trump in town and all this stuff, the sheriff was occupied. So Sunday they released it.
Right.
And I mean, I knew from the second I heard it that it would be
a talker on Monday.
a talker. Yeah.
Yeah, I have I guess the They sent us, in case you guys didn't see it the first time around, this guy. This is his mugshot. This is Michael Crawford. And you said he was born in 1946,
Yeah.
according to the research they did. So that would make him what, like
70,
69?
about 70, yeah,
Almost
about
70?
69.
Wow.
Yeah, 69.
And then the whole news release. Oh, 68, I guess. Maybe he
Oh.
hasn't turned 69. Or, I don't know. So apparently, okay, so he posted an ad on a popular website which sparked the interest of an undercover detective from the MCSO Animal Crimes Unit responsible for multiple investigations and subsequent arrests for bestiality. Thus launched an investigation that began back in October.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So this began back in October. It's interesting to read these press releases because they go into like random detail.
Yeah. So they've been communicating with him for almost a year.
I guess so. Pennsylvania man on a fixed income bought a round-trip ticket to Phoenix believing he was going to meet an owner of small horses who would permit him to engage in various sexual acts with animals. So yeah, I guess since October, emails, phone calls, and all of them he explained in graphic detail all the things he wanted to do
Wow.
with a willing horse owner and his animal. What? So the horse owner was also going to be involved in the act,
Yeah.
apparently?
Wow.
Crawford said he'd been sexually aroused by horses for years and had traveled extensively to find horse owners in various cities willing to allow him to access their animals for such purposes. I think we could read this because this is on the press release. Crawford asked the detective what kind of horses and ponies he had, how large they were, and if they're used to human sexual play. He later told the deputy.
What horses? What?
I don't know.
What?
Like,
Sorry.
He told the deputy that he purchased a non-refundable plane ticket to Phoenix, adding, "If you can really help with what I'm seeking, I'm definitely interested in traveling out to meet you." Yeah.
Do you want me to read that rest of that part?
Sure. Go for it.
Crawford said he would be bringing 5 shirts on which he wanted the horse to urinate. He told detectives he would mail them back to his home in Pennsylvania, where he would wear them for his own purposes. I feel bad for that post office, that postman.
Oh my gosh. So then this whole meetup happened this past Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So this all kind of came about. He got in Phoenix Friday night, met at the airport by undercover deputies, and this all kind of took place. We saw the video, and this is very, very disturbing.
No question.
You were probably just shocked when you heard about it.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so you cover a lot of animal-related stories. How often do we get a bestiality
Rare.
case?
It's extremely rare.
Here
There have been some pretty high-profile ones over the past couple of years, but this is the first in a long time. It's very rare.
What was the last high-profile one? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know all the details,
Yeah.
so I don't want to say anything that isn't right because it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
It involved a woman and a man.
Oh my gosh. He's mentally sick, just put his butt into the nut house, Douglas Krantz chiming in. Everyone, I mean, I'm sure you're very disturbed by this.
How could you not be?
My mood, Dina, I just don't understand the thought process of some. I will never understand the demented thoughts and desires of some. Sick, sick, sick. The new To Catch a Predator, the My Little Pony edition. Sean Hoffman. I mean, Mary Bell, he was seriously excited when he was looking at the animal. Seriously, what the F? Ugh, he needs a good donkey kick, period. Everyone, I mean, this is getting the chat room going for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. It's just one of those stories that you never think would ever happen.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Joni just tuned in. And what this is kind of I mean, not the most pleasant story to tune in.
We should probably put a warning up the whole time.
I know, like a lower third.
Yeah.
Warning, mute your speakers if you do not want to listen to any disturbing information. Rachel saying, SK in that face. I don't know if I even want to know that much just by SK's reaction. I think it was when I was reading the probable
and the press release is definitely the G-rated version. It's what goes into the court system that's
X-rated.
extra. Yeah, if you want to even call it that.
I don't even want to say R-rated. It's
I know.
X-rated. I don't even think an R-rated movie would have this stuff in it. Hands down.
Not a chance.
This is very, very, very disturbing. John Hoffman. to get on out of bail and move to Whitman. This did not take place in Whitman. This is
No.
this is not a local guy. It's
No,
a guy that
that's
just wanted
that's
to commit
that's
the
something
crimes.
that's something that actually makes the case actually kind of interesting. I think is that he was kind of they found this across state lines. He came out here
Right.
to do this based on the sheriff's office kind of claiming that they could make this experience happen for him.
Right. And I mean, again, these ponies were not harmed, but think about it. I mean, if he claims that he's done this so many times since the 70s,
Yeah.
what other animals have been harmed? It's so disturbing.
And where has he traveled to?
And yeah, which people are allowing such
Yes.
acts to take place?
And those are the people that I can't imagine anyone allowing that to happen.
But they're weird people.
Clearly. Clearly.
Wow. Well, there goes my appetites.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Poor Andrew, he can't unread all of that.
Yeah, it's bad.
My gosh. So we're going to get into Sheriff Arpaio's press conference in a minute, but anything else that we should
That's about it.
make note of? No?
He's from a city outside Pennsylvania where he's lived for 35 years.
Is it a rural city? Many farms, perhaps?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up real quick. I really don't know. It's outside Philadelphia, I believe.
Leo, goodness, who does that? I can't even right now. It's too early in the week for stories like this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sorry guys. Katie Fletcher, why didn't he just buy a horse? I mean, I guess you could wonder that.
Yeah,
but
so it's
still
pretty
very
rural. It's pretty rural.
Where he's from.
Yeah, it's.
So you wonder
That's
if-
central Pennsylvania.
If
He's not
been
near.
doing that stuff in the rural part of the state where he lives.
Can't help but
I mean,
wonder.
either way, but Katie does have a good point. Why didn't he just buy his own horse? I mean, it's expensive to take care of. You can't just buy a horse.
It's true.
Maybe you don't have the facility required to take care of a horse. And I don't know, people have weird, obviously kinky
Hey,
fantasies.
Doug, you said only in Arizona. Only in Arizona did he get caught.
Right.
He's not from here.
Let's make this
So
very
there is
clear.
no connection to this person
This
living
guy,
here.
This guy right
He
here.
got caught here.
This guy
Yeah.
got caught here.
We have no claim to this man. He is from Pennsylvania.
In fact, we should be proud that we have law enforcement that cracks down on these people, so we should be proud to be in Arizona in this case.
Yeah, there you go.
Joni, I can't even comment. It's way too much for me. Weird is an understatement.
Definitely. What should we hear from the sheriff?
I think so. Let's listen in on
Sure.
what the sheriff has to say. Oh, man.
G-rated way, but it's up to you guys to do whatever you want to do. Because it is kind of, perverted. You guys ready? In general terms, I've been very tough on bestiality. And I went to the legislature in 1996 to get a law passed. There was no law, believe it or not, bestiality. So my animal cruelty unit, I believe we're the only ones doing it. Excuse me. We arrested 8 so far since we started cracking down on this part of animal cruelty. So we continued our undercover investigations as we do through the web page. Many of the other arrests were done through the Craigslist. This is a little different. I'm not going to get into all the details of the website, but basically our undercover detective through the computer and telephone has been negotiating with the suspect. His name is Michael Crawford. He's about 68 years old. And finally, he decided that he wanted to travel to Phoenix to meet our undercover agent and to have sex with his horse, or a small pony. So he bought a ticket Friday night. We met him at the airport, undercover. Deputy sheriffs met him at the airport and took him to meet the horse. We have a lot of conversation, undercover conversation from the suspect. We had our horse, I believe, in a trailer, and when he saw the horse, of course, he got all excited, and then he was placed under arrest for a Class 6 felony. He also brought 5 shirts with him. He wanted the horse to urinate on the sheriff, you can cut that one out, on the horse urinating on the shirts, and then he was going to, he had them in plastic bags, and he was a little concerned getting through TSA to fly the shirts back to his home. Says he's been doing this since 1970. He's connected with the government, and evidently he said working on the Patriot missile system, sonar equipment for submarines. Said he is 43 years with the government in some capacity. He retired, and evidently he had to be doing this if he said he's been doing this since 1970. And he travels around when he can get the opportunity, and when he's soliciting this type of experience. And I always, I think I mentioned it, or, you know, why do you have to come all the way from Pennsylvania? Don't they have horses in Pennsylvania? But evidently he didn't have anybody receptive to his website in that state, but he's traveled around to other states. He was very surprised when he was placed under arrest by our deputy sheriffs. But this is, to me, is perversion, and we crack down on this type of activity. And now he's in jail, charged with a Class 5 felony regarding animal abuse.
You mentioned that there have been 8 arrests so far of bestiality. In how long a period of time?
Well, I would say the last 4 or 5 years.
How surprised are you that this is going on in this day and age?
Well, other arrests, I think I've always gone public on it. There's some, you know, I think I remember arresting 3 people. One was a flight attendant. So you never know who gets involved in this type of experience. And we have others that we're going to do. It's not that easy. A lot of work to be done, the computers, the conversations. And this took a while because this guy lived in Pennsylvania. But there's no entrapment. We have plenty of conversations, emails. So, you know, that's how we make these cases. Every one of the that we have arrests, we're convicted. So it's just a problem. Many people don't know this occurring. That's why I went to the legislature over another situation I won't get into, where official, I won't say who and where, was messing around with a lamb, but we just didn't have a bestiality law. So that's what triggered me to get that law passed, because we are tough on animal cruelty, and this is animal cruelty also, as you can understand. So that's what got us involved in this type of enforcement.
Had any money change hands, or was this person offering money, and if so, how much?
I don't believe there was any money involved. He just wanted access to a horse. And there was some gay connotations there. I don't know what he thought about our deputy sheriff, but his main mission was to have sex with the horse. That's what this is all about.
This is a Class 6 felony. What is he looking into?
Well, he could get a year, up to 3 or 4. It depends. That's just one step above a misdemeanor, Class 6 felony. But it's better than just a misdemeanor when they pass the law.
Should it be tougher?
Pardon?
You think it should be tougher? It should be tougher?
Well, I think all the animal cruelty laws should be tougher. Most of them are misdemeanors. If you know the cases we've been making recently, I don't think there's enough teeth in the law, so that's one big situation I'll be fighting in the next legislation, making them tougher, these laws.
He obviously caught this person before he was able to, obviously he wasn't going to do anything physical, he wasn't undercover, but what happens also to the people who, if there are people who would travel to do that, what happens to the one who offers the animals for sex? Have you been able to arrest any of those cases?
No. In fact, I think there's many states that this could be legal that don't have this type of law. So I'm sure that he had no idea. In fact, when he was arrested, he was shocked. He said, "I didn't do anything." Well, he did. He committed a conspiracy. We're not going to let him go through the act, of course. That's what he's thinking. He didn't do it, but we sure have enough to charge him.
You said you determined that he's been doing this since the 70s? How did you...
His own words were since 1970. He doesn't have a criminal record that we know of. And we found out he mentioned he was working for the government. I don't know if there's a contract basis or what. So he's been getting by with this across the nation, I guess. And my point is, why does he have to come all the way here? Don't they have a horse in Pennsylvania? But don't forget, he has to get somebody to agree to this. And you may say, why does he buy his own horse? I think he said he bought one in New York, but the guy took the horse back or something. But maybe he likes to travel. He didn't go first class, so I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of money. But he sure liked the Western horses out here.
You mentioned the work that goes in order to catch these people. Talk about your task force, how long they've been doing this, and how involved they are in some of these cases.
Well, this doesn't really shock us. We've had other arrests regarding horses. Mostly it's dogs. But I don't think we never had anybody fly in with 5 shirts in a suitcase and trying to bring those shirts back to TSA. Actually, he did he was going to wash the shirts to get the odor off, hoping to get through TSA. Of course, that never happened because we didn't complete the act. But so you may say he's sick. You can say whatever you want with him. But people do strange things.
Forgive me, I haven't read the release, the actual press release. Where was he physically arrested at? Where was he apprehended?
We'll give you that address. I don't know if we have it on it. We'll get it to you. You have it?
Yeah, I'll give
It was, I know, in a trailer that we furnish, and it was our undercover horse, our pony, and it was, I believe it was furnished by one of our posse members. But the exact arrests, I can give it to you.
How many were involved in the actual apprehension? In other words, I know that was the undercover guy, but was it just him that apprehended him?
No, I think we had a couple other deputies. You never know. Hey, you get a guy like this, you don't know what's going to happen. Somebody, you know, so, as I say, he was 68 years old, retired. We don't feel he has a criminal record. Been doing it since 1970, traveling around the country, connecting with horses. And he got away with it. He would have gotten away with this one, too. He happened to pick the wrong county and the wrong sheriff that has an animal cruelty unit.
Thanks, Joe.
Real quick, Sheriff, do you mind talking about yesterday and how everything went with Mr. Trump and his rally there?
No, I think it went great. We didn't have any incidents. Nobody was arrested. There was a demonstration. I gave my talk, met with him, and it was. I think he was shocked at the number of people that showed up. He's been making his rounds. Came in from Vegas yesterday. So as far as safety and so on, it went okay. As far as my involvement, the local Republican Party asked me to talk, which I did. And he and I have not met. That's the first time. We had a nice meeting, but we have corresponded he wrote me a couple notes in the past on investigations I have going. That was it. Good turnout. I hope I know he's big on the economy, so I hope that the downtown businesses made a little money.
He was saying there's 12 to 15,000 people in the room.
The what?
He was saying there's 12 to 15,000 people in the room.
Who was?
Trump on his Twitter feed. And that the convention center let all those people in to keep them out from the heat, even though they knew it was breaking fire code. Do you know anything about that?
Well, when I talked, I didn't count them. I think there could have been 3,000 to 4,000 inside. I know there were people waiting on the outside. I don't know about the fire code, but I think that's one reason all of them could not get in. That wasn't my responsibility. I was just there to give a talk and meet with him. But anybody else? I know this is a tough story to do. Maybe. I don't know. You guys will know how to handle it. Because I've been through this before. Trying to explain to the reporters, you know. But I think I did okay keeping it at G rated. You going to give them anything?